What's up, y'all? This is Jimmy from Just the Facts, and today we got our Texas at Kansas State preview. Now, I really didn't want to make the preview videos for Kansas State and at Kansas, just because, our season's over. We have no chance at the Big 12 championship anymore. So I was pretty disappointed. I didn't really want to make a video, but I'm a Longhorn for life, so I told myself I was going to make this video, and here we are right now. There's still a lot to talk about in the realm of Texas football. Both of these teams have nothing to play for, so I expect a game where coaches just empty out the playbook. Coaches just let backups play even more. Hopefully, I'll get to that more in a minute. I just expect a really, really competitive game. Teams want to have some pride going out the right way, especially for the seniors. Obviously, both teams just want to go out strong. Now, for Texas, we know Tom Herman's on the hot seat, and he must win out. I don't think he's really gonna play his backups too much, because this game, in a weird way, it's a must-win still for Tom Herman. Cosmi and Stearns have opted out, going to the NFL. Salute to them. Thanks for all the great moments for these guys. Sam Cosmi's offensive touchdown versus West Virginia, and then Caden Stearns having an unbelievable career at Texas, even though he did tail off towards the end. Both are very, very talented guys. Both guys work very, very hard. I know Stearns has been dealing with injury a lot of the past 2 seasons, really, but I'm sure he has the talent. There's no doubt about that. So shout out to those guys, Longhorns for life. And yeah, as for Kansas State heading into this matchup, they're on a downward trend. They started 4-0, and they have lost 4 since. And in those losses, they've lost by an average of 20 points. So this is not the regular K-State team. We know Skylar Thompson is out due to injury. We know that K-State has dealt with a lot of COVID issues, but a lot of teams have. So is that really an excuse? Not really, but Kansas State would have been a better team if they didn't have these sorts of problems. They own Texas and Manhattan. Texas is 3-5 at Kansas State since 2002. So always a tough place to play. Kansas State's always a tough team, whether they're actually good or not. They're always a tough team to play. Always a well-coached, well-disciplined team, no matter who the head coach is. And they should be 6-3. Like I said, Kansas State should be better than what their record indicates at 4-5. They probably should be 6-3. They had a couple late fourth quarter leads that they both blew against Oklahoma State and Baylor. Both fourth quarter collapses by Kansas State. There are double-digit leads in those games, end up losing them. So Texas offensively, how do they go about this game? Well, there was a question that Tom Herman was asked about. Will he play Casey Thompson any? Will he play Jaquindon Jackson or Hudson Card any in this game? And he basically said no. Answers our question about Sam. He's pretty much gone. So I don't really see us playing Casey Thompson or Hudson Card or Jaquindon, unless we completely blow him out, which I really doubt. Maybe against Kansas. I want to see Bijan Robinson get hella carries. I want just to go all out, man. We have nothing to lose anymore, as a team. But I said, Tom Herman has his job to play for. But I want to see Bijan get 15 to 20 carries and get carries consistently throughout the game. I don't want to see him get 8 carries in the first 2 drives of the game, and then the rest of the game he gets another 8. No, that's not how we have to play Bijan Robinson. We have to give him the ball, steady diet of Bijan Robinson. If he's not even if he's not running the ball, get him on some swing routes, get him on some running back screens. He's dynamic as hell. We saw it in the West Virginia game. We need to get this guy the ball in as many ways as possible. And Kerstetter's hurt right now. Ingram is still hurt with that high ankle sprain. I don't think either of those guys are going to play. They're both doubtful. As I said earlier, Kansas State's always a tough, physical, and disciplined defense. They're still pretty good, and they get 2 of their linebackers back, Justin Hughes and Elijah Sullivan. Both were out for COVID issues. Justin Hughes, 42 tackles, that's second on the team. Elijah Sullivan, 39 tackles, 5th on the team. So, their linebacking core is by far their best group on pretty much the entire team. Defensively, they're not the same as what we normally know Kansas State to be. but they're still a tough team. They did give up 135 yards to Breece Hall, but damn near every team gave up 100 plus yards to Breece Hall. Not us, but we still lost. They gave up 349 yards and 2 touchdowns to Charlie Brewer. So if Charlie Brewer can throw for 349, Sam could easily, he could top that, but he's not going to. Sam will have a good game versus Kansas State. He has had some really good games versus Kansas State in the past. I want to see our offensive line might have some newbies. Jake Majors, Tyler Johnson. Might need to see what we got on the offensive line, because like I said, Cosme opted out. Kerstetter probably won't play, so why not get some experience for our younger guys, our freshmen. And hopefully we just end it off the right way offensively. And what has been a really, really bad offensive year for us. I know you can look at the numbers, say, oh, we averaged what? I don't even know how many points we averaged. We averaged probably 35 points a game, but we're probably one of the worst offenses to ever average 35 points a game. Probably in every FBS history. That's just what it is, man. That's just what it is. Now, onto the defensive side. Caden Stearns opted out, like I said in the beginning, and Jalen Green is questionable to play in this game. He got hurt in the Iowa State game. The defense kept us in the Iowa State game, and the defense has been the most consistent part of our whole entire team. Specifically, our defensive line with Graham, with Osai, of course. Jacoby Jones comes in there. Coburn had a really, really nice game versus Iowa State, wreaking havoc. He destroyed Brock Purdy a couple times. But my question is, how will the back end look? How will the DBs look? Got Deshaun Jameson, Chris Adamora, Josh Thompson, B.J. Foster is going to play Chris Brown. But are we going to give Tyler Owens some run? Are we going to give Jahdae Barron some run? Are we going to give Xavier Alford some run? I know this isn't the best team to play against when you want your corners to get experience. Against Kansas State, who's not a throwing team whatsoever. I'll get to their quarterback in a second. But you want to give these guys meaningful game reps, and for next season, because these guys will be playing a lot more next season. So why not? Joseph Osai. This is one of the last games we see from Joseph Osai. I have a really good feeling he'll come back for another year, even though I wouldn't be mad at all if he left. I would totally understand that. First round talent, in my opinion. Speaking of Osai and the defensive line, they have their hands full with Deuce Vaughns. Yeah, Deuce Vaughns is pretty short, but I mean he's really good. He's their leading receiver and rusher. 500 rushing yards, 5 touchdowns, 4.6 yards per carry, and he has 21 receptions for 389 yards and 2 touchdowns, averaging 18.5 yards per catch. So this guy's pretty much their only offensive weapon, consistent offensive weapon at that. They have Briley Moore, 21 catches, 326, 3 touchdowns. I'm not scared about this Kansas State team at all. If we can stop Deuce Vaughns, they shouldn't get more than 20 points on us, honestly. With how good our defense has been playing, I just don't see it, man. I just don't. Will Howard is not good, 1,000 yards, 52%. Completion, 6 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. He's only had one good game, and guess who that was against? It was against Kansas. So, their offense is just not good. Skylar Thompson was actually really, really good. He was coming along as a passer, but I mean, with Will Howard there, we shouldn't have any problems. Maybe running the ball, he might, run for a couple third downs, extend a couple plays or so. But other than that, we shouldn't have too much problems with Kansas State offensively, man. I expect this game, I mean, it's going to be stress-free for me because I don't really care. We have no real, expectations. We have nothing to play for, so I don't have anything to really, complain about too much, knowing that the season's over. So Texas should really, really dominate this game. Just to mention, Kansas State does have a really good offensive line, so, take that for whatever it's worth. I do still expect to get to Will Howard. And yeah, this is just a boring matchup, man. Kansas State's not an exciting team. They never really have been. They've always been a solid team at best, really, outside of a couple years. But Texas should dominate this game. Texas needs to get out early to a lead like they did against Iowa State, and then keep that momentum going. Don't just, like I said earlier, don't just give Bijan like 8 carries in the first 2 drives of the game, and the rest of the 8-9 drives of the game he gets 8 carries. We can't do that, man. We have to spread it out equally throughout the entire course of the game. And next thing, I just want to see young guys get some reps. I want to see the DBs, the younger DBs get some run. The guys that haven't really played too much, the offensive line. I want to see a couple of new guys in there, Jake Majors, Tyler Johnson, and them. And then, Bijan, of course, I want to see him running the football a lot more. And yeah, just save Tom Herman. If we lose to Kansas State, I think that's the end all be all if Texas ends up losing to Kansas State. Like, I think it's a 50-50 chance that Tom Herman keeps his job at this point. If they lose to Kansas State, I mean, he's gone. Like, there's no doubt about that. Whether we bring in Urban Meyer or not, I think Tom Herman would be gone if he lost to to Kansas State. But I don't think that'll happen. I think Texas will win by a score of 34-20. We'll handle them, man. I think we'll handle them, and we have a really, really good offensive game, defensive game, a really good all-around game, man. And, hopefully get to a bowl game. We don't know what that it's going to look like, even if we have bowl games. But, yeah, that's my Texas preview versus Kansas State. We have nothing to play for anymore, so this just a really it's a bummer, but, I'm still here making this video. But with that being said, let me know who wins and why. And as always, this is Jimmy from Just the Facts, and I'm out. Peace. Hook 'em.